Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Tuesday the 3rd of November 2020. Thanks for joining me. I'm using the Shadowscapes Tarot for this reading. Let's see what the cards want you to be aware of and what energy you'll be working with here on Tuesday the 3rd of November. Okay, first card we've got the Eight of Swords, the Page of Wands, and the Nine of Wands. Amazing. We've had so much fire energy lately. It's really a time of rediscovering the self and rediscovering the inner fire. It's kind of like Sagittarius in astrology. I've mentioned this example many times, but it just resonates with me. You've got three fire signs. You've got Aries in the spring, and that's based on the northern hemisphere. So the flowers are coming out and life is coming back into nature. Then we've got Leo at the height of summer, and that's when it's hot and there's just fire out in nature everywhere. It's dry. And then we have Sagittarius in December, and there is no fire in nature. It's frozen, and the only fire that exists is within. And this is a similar kind of energy where there's difficulty. You can see that with the Eight of Swords. And after that difficulty, you've got the re-emergence of fire and this carefree nature and a desire to live life and to experience every moment. That's something that you need to keep working on, that we all need to keep working on, to get rid of all the junk so that we can be in the present moment and enjoy the marvelous, magical things about life. And that kind of reawakening means that the worst is going to be behind you and you're very close to finding what it is you want. Okay, so let's look at that in more detail. The Eight of Swords, we have this swan stuck here in all these swords. They look like an old fence with these rose thorns. And we have this little hummingbird with pink and green, so the heart chakra, hovering above, and that's free. And it looks like some evil wizard opening his cloak and shrouding all of this. So the solution to the problem is love, and that's the case for most things. And the Eight of Swords in itself is feeling stuck and getting tangled up in a situation that you don't need to be in. You really have the freedom to step out of it. But that's like saying to someone who's struggling with mental health and saying, hey, just snap out of it, get better. I mean, that doesn't work. So it's just because it's something that's perceived and something that is experienced on an internal level doesn't mean it's any less real, but it gives you the opportunity to change your thinking around it and to free yourself. Okay, so if someone's got a broken leg, then even if they change their thinking around the broken leg, it's still a broken leg, right? If someone is really suffering with emotional pain, then there are certain things that person can do to lessen the emotional pain. You can meditate, you can connect with nature, you can call loved ones, you can do yoga, lots of different things that change your thinking. So the actual emotional pain, for example, isn't different, but your response to it is, and that's how you free yourself. So love yourself. Don't focus on the negativity sweeping in, that appears to be sweeping in. It's like I don't know if you've ever seen this, but I watched an episode or two of this on Netflix, Once Upon a Time, and it's really the campest, funniest thing I've seen in a long time. And they've got the evil queen and the evil queen's mother, who's just a nightmare, and it's just the best. And it reminds me of a scene where she cast this curse over this town to keep them all under her control, and it's this sweeping blanket that moves over the whole kind of community, and that's what this looks like. So it doesn't matter what negativity is covering your situation or what you feel like emotionally, as long as you remember to love yourself and to be kind to yourself, and regardless of what's happening externally, you bring the light. I mean, he can fly back and forth for all you care, as long as you're connected to this little hummingbird, which is you. I mean, they're both different versions of you, they all are. Then you have the ability to create light and to be the center of the universe. So it doesn't matter if there's a cloak of darkness shrouding things or not. You have the ability to bring the light. Then we've got the Page of Wands. That leads you to the Page of Wands, who's the least experienced in the suit of wands. And that's good. A page, I think back in the day, was like a messenger boy, like someone you had around the estate to or get things organized and to do errands and things like that. So here we've got this young woman learning to play the violin. She's expressing herself creatively. We've got the foxes howling beautifully. We've got the elementals showing up. So even if you make this tiny little inroad and saying, okay, my head is telling me one thing, everything sucks or everything's negative, and I'm going to turn that around and say, life is wonderful. And it's not about denial. It's affirming positive things that you know can be real. And love is the answer, or I believe in love. Making little inroads to change your thinking and not just buying it and swallowing it without questioning, but actually saying, is this true? Like Byron Katie's The Work, is this right? Is what I'm thinking actually right? You are able to recognize that some things are overly negative. You're able to do something about that. And just that little action, which takes seconds, really allows something to ignite within you. And it's a new passion. It's a new creative outlet. It's a new connection. It's a new way of having fun. It's a new and personalized unique experience on planet Earth that only you're going to have because you're bringing the fun. So if she weren't playing the violin and doing something, they wouldn't hear her. She wouldn't have anything in common with this musician. And it's about faking it till you make it, or taking that first step and saying, if things are negative, I can still bring the light. I can still be a force for good. I can still be something positive. That then pulls all this positive energy towards you, and the light gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So this little hummingbird turns into the Page of Wands, much more light. And finally, with that new discovery, you're able to overcome real difficulties. The Nine of Wands is usually someone standing in front of 9 wands with a bandage on his head, and the worst is behind him. He survived. He knows what he wants now. And it's been a bit of a journey. It's been a struggle. So if you've had a real struggle with your thinking, oh wow, and I just remembered that in terms of the astrology, we've got Mercury, the communication planet, going direct today. So have a look at the weekly horoscope. I talk about that in there. When the communication planet comes out of retrograde and goes direct, it no longer appears to go backwards, and it appears to move forwards again. So pages, people who exchange information and thinking and communication, all becomes much easier because Mercury is no longer kind of working against itself. It's no longer stifled. So if you struggle with negative thinking or self-sabotage, it's really a wonderful time to try again and to say, okay, I can change my thinking, create new neural pathways and start something new. And if you do that, it means that you can say once and for all, the worst is behind me. So if you're not a good friend to yourself when the chips are down, you can learn how to be a good friend to yourself, whether things are good or bad, and really become an authority figure in your own life and someone you can rely on. This is interesting. We've got, he looks like an army general. He looks like he's been through a war. Here are his backup soldiers, and they're standing on the front of this cliff. So I would say they're not looking out to say, oh, okay, we're going to go conquer. We're going to go fight. It's like they've thrown the invaders out of their country, and they're now at the shores of their land and looking at the enemy kind of retreating and saying, okay, we're safe. We've secured the land. The worst is behind us. They're retreating, and we can all go home and have some dinner. And the Nine of Wands is about showing strength, even if things seem difficult, and just asking what your role is. And you don't have to change the whole world. You don't have to change your whole life. You can change one thought and start really, really small and just allow for the idea of love or the idea of positivity and creativity. And being carefree, I really get that word strongly with this card. The sense that life isn't so difficult that it crushes you. It's something whimsical that you can shrug on and shrug off when you want, and you can have fun with it. And you can live in your own little world of your own creation. So that's what the message is, that don't oppress yourself. Focus on the positives. That allows you to really leave the difficulties behind and to express yourself creatively in a new and loving and exciting way. Number-wise, we've got 9 and 1 is 10 and 8 is 18. 1 and 8 is 9, and 9 is the Hermit in the Tarot. It's spirituality and completion in numerology. And it brings me back to this. It's like this little hummingbird with the heart chakra colors is like the light at the center of the hermit's heart chakra. It's the realization that all the good things are inside you, and you just need to clear the debris or the junk out of the way so that your true light can shine. We've got this tiny little circle here, then it's like zoomed out and the entire card is this, and then we go back to another little circle, the solar plexus. So the area we're in, chakra wise, we're at the heart chakra and we're at the solar plexus, we're at the center. So we're letting go of control, and it's kind of chicken and the egg, because by believing in something positive, it gives you strength to continue on and to make love bigger. And it's by letting love get bigger and shine the light for you that you don't have to be as controlling, and things get easier and you can let go a little bit. So it works both ways here today, and you can make the initial step. And I think I misspoke when I said fake it to make it. It's not faking it to make it. It's about taking a little spark of love and believing in it and nurturing it and letting it grow. And it's believing in yourself. So have a lovely day. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, just click the button to audio reading with me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and share the video online. Have an amazing day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.